Hi, I'm Andreas Met. I'm a co-founder of Satya Psilocybin Services Service Center. We also run a manufacturing operation under a separate license, and I'm also a facilitator. And I'm presenting this video today to answer a number of questions that clients have about psilocybin services and about coming to Satya. We have some of the most experienced facilitators in Oregon, probably on the planet. We have a number of facilitators that have seen over 200 clients since we've opened. I've seen over 180. We have a number of other facilitators that have seen over 100. So we have thousands of hours of experience. But what we tell everybody is go and do the research, check out other service centers, call them up, talk to the owners, ask them all the questions you have, and then make a choice. And whatever choice you make, we're certain you're going to make a good choice. We clearly hope you pick Satya. Our reviews testify to our client experiences. But ultimately, you have to make that intuitive choice. And whatever choice, like I said, that you make, it's a great choice. People ask us, I'm from out of state, can I come and do the service? And the answer is yes. We have people come from all over the United States and internationally, and they travel to Ashland, Oregon. It's a beautiful place. It's a safe place. And the state is open for people from everywhere in the world. So where you come from doesn't matter. Another common question that we receive is, what's a bad trip look like? Or what's the worst thing that can happen to me? And that's a really important question. I think a bad trip in this context is you come from New York, fly all the way across the country, spend 2 or 3 days here in Ashland, come into the service center, and nothing happens. You don't have any outcome at all. And we're not allowed to talk about how effective this program is by law. So we can't make any claims to whether this works or not. I would suggest that somewhere between 10 and 20% of the time, the outcomes are very little change or no change. So that's kind of a big number, but if you look at the other side, how many people get a lot out of this process, it's a big number. We've seen over 1,200 people, and there's 1,000 success stories, probably more. I don't know the exact number. So a bad trip, in my opinion, again, is spending a lot of money coming to do this service and having nothing happen. In terms of the worst thing that can happen to you here, it's possible that you could go and have your experience and be physically nauseous for 4 or 5 hours. And that does happen sometimes. It's relatively rare, but it can happen. It's possible that you take too much psilocybin for your constitution, and as a result, you may lose complete track of reality to the point where you may be moving around and become so agitated that you might require emergency services to be called. And that's to protect you or other people around you. If emergency services are called, you're going to be taken to Roe Valley Medical Center, go to the ER, you'll be given a sedative. That's an infrequent event, but it's something you need to be aware of, and it points to the fact that you need to be careful in choosing your dosing strategy with facilitators. But most importantly, you have to understand that that could happen, and that you would examine, the issues that you have and determine whether, you are suitable for psilocybin services or not. We can't tell you what's going to happen. That's a lot of me talking about a potential hospital visit, of which 3 people out of 1,200 and some have had that outcome. And the state of Oregon, in other service centers, there have been 16 or 17 calls to emergency services out of maybe 15,000 clients being seen. So again, it's a relatively infrequent occurrence, but you do need to be aware that it happens. And incidentally, reading the public records requests, you're able to actually request these records and read them, which we do here because we learn from these calls from everywhere. You can read those, but in general, when you read these reports, even the people that requested emergency services, they actually felt that that was an important part of their healing process, as odd as that may seem. I think you can see that based on the amount of time that I'm spending talking about this, we take this very seriously. When you come to Satya, we believe you will be safe. We'll keep you as safe as we can. The worst thing I think that can happen to any client to repeat is you could come out and have nothing happen, spend a lot of time and money. You could come out and, in a very infrequent case, potentially need um, emergency medical services where you'd be going to an emergency room, probably staying there for 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours, and then leaving. The risks are relatively low, but it's really important to understand that this is not child's play. This is very serious work that we do here. We take it seriously and we try to do the best we can to ensure client safety. Another common question we have is, why are you so much cheaper than other service centers? And we think we're right at the end of lower pricing. There is one service center in the state, Space Psychedelic Clinic, that consistently offers lower price journeys. They appear to offer exceptional quality services based on reviews that you can go look at. So we are really encouraged by any service center that chooses to offer reasonable prices. Our prices, you can have a journey here all inclusive for between $1,050 and $1,250. You could pay more to some facilitators. Some of our facilitators have a passion for helping the disadvantaged and veterans and first responders. Dr. Bonnie Kober will do journeys for $900 if you're a veteran or a first responder, or if you're disadvantaged. You can check out her bio on our website. And we really strive to do that. The main reason why we offer services at such a low price is we have a manufacturing license for psilocybin. And for the past 3 years, we've always been committed to offering psilocybin at reasonable prices, especially wholesale, so that other service centers, if they would like to partner with us, can enjoy lower wholesale prices. Our mushrooms are of exceptional quality. I grow them with organic principles, and they do the intended job. So that's one of the reasons why we're able to offer lower prices. I quite frankly can't understand why some service centers are charging $200, $300 for the mushrooms. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but everyone has their own business model, and I have to respect that. The other reason why we may appear so much cheaper than other people out there that are running what I call consolidator websites, they're not involved at all in the industry. They don't have any licenses. They do list licensed facilitators. Those licensed facilitators then go to service centers and see clients at the service center. That's perfectly fine. And we have some facilitators that come and visit us on that model. So everyone has to make a living the way they want to make their living. We respect that. The reason why the costs are so high, for example, you may go to a site that advertises $2,750 for the service, or even up to $5,000. And then you have to ask yourself, if someone comes to Satya, the room might be $550 to $650. With the psilocybin, the facilitator might be making $1,500 there. And then the third party that's not even involved in the industry is making $600. I think the only reason why those business models work is because there's a lack of information. If people were to do their research and investigate service centers in Oregon, not just Satya, but anybody, they would find that they could save quite a bit of money and end up getting the same quality of service. And they might even find that same facilitator at that service center, and that could save $600. So there's a tremendous amount of misinformation and lack of information out there. We recommend doing due diligence. And as you're involved, ask the provider you're talking to, are you a licensed facilitator? Okay, you are. Is the service center we're going to a licensed service center? They are. What is the cost breakout? Who's getting paid what for this? How much is the service center getting? How much are you getting? Is there a third party? How much is the third party being paid? And that will help you educate yourself as a potential client and make it possible for you to find the right service center combined with the right facilitator and potentially save you a considerable amount of money. Ultimately, regardless of how you choose to come in, if you choose a licensed facilitator and you're at a licensed service center, you're going to be afforded all of the rights under your client bill of rights, and you're going to have exceptional service, in my opinion, regardless. So ultimately, this is more of a question of saving money as opposed to the quality of service you're going to find. I think that covers the three most common questions that we receive. There are a number of other questions. Maybe I'll cover, do I have to quit my SSRIs or medications before coming to you? And the answer is, we can't answer that. You need to talk to your healthcare provider and determine whether a change in medications is appropriate for you or not. The issue with changing medications is it changes your brain chemistry, could destabilize you, and you really want to have at least some stability coming into a psilocybin session. The idea is also, if you're coming to for say opiate use or alcohol use disorder, you cannot come in and be in withdrawals during the service. You should be not in a position where you're going to have withdrawals, and you certainly cannot be visibly intoxicated for any of this services. So even a preparation session, if you're visibly intoxicated, that's against the rules, and a facilitator will terminate the conversation. So the answer to what about medications is see your doctor, see what they have to say, and then make your choices accordingly. Now, in terms of the actual session, there's not a lot of research out there regarding dosing and SSRIs and antipsychotics. They all tend to blunt, shouldn't say they all, a number of them blunt the effects. We have not seen any negative combinations between psilocybin and SSRIs and antipsychotics. What we have generally found is that for most people, you end up taking more psilocybin. And there's a debate out there about how much more you should take. Our philosophy at Satya is you're going to work that out with your facilitator and make an according choice. You can take up to 50 milligrams of psilocybin. 25 milligrams is a research level dose. And to give some perspective, 50 milligrams is a very large dose. And as you take more than 25, 35 milligrams, you run into more risk of it being too much. For most people, too much means maybe a more challenging, intense experience. And for an uncommon or rarer amount of people, that could be too much, means a call to emergency services. So it's very important to work with your facilitator to come up with the right dosing strategy, understanding that if you come in and you're on SSRIs or antipsychotics or both, or other drugs that might interfere with the psilocybin, the outcome may be that you just take more. We have not seen much of a difference in terms of people achieving their goals, whether they're on SSRIs or not. And while I can't give specific numbers, the majority of people that come and visit us are taking SSRIs, antipsychotics, or both, and other drugs. And generally, everything seems to work quite well. I hope this brief video helps answer some of your questions. We're always available to talk. Either myself or Jennifer, my wife and co-founder, will answer the phone or the email. And we greatly look forward to talking to anybody that is interested in having their questions answered. I hope you have a great day. And if you do have questions, please feel free to call us. Thanks so much. Bye.